What if the man who brought vintage machines back to life suddenly disappeared without a word? One day, Sam Lovegrove was transforming rust into gold on Shed and Buried. The next, his seat was empty and silence replaced his voice. No goodbye. No answers, just whispers, rumors, and a trail of mystery. Fans were heartbroken. What really happened to the quiet genius beside Henry Cole? If you've ever cheered for the underdog or felt the soul in every restored engine, this is the story you can't miss. The heartbreaking truth behind Sam Lovegrove's vanishing begins now. Before he was a familiar face on British TV, Sam Lovegrove was already legendary in barns, workshops, and the underground world of vintage restorers. Growing up in the West Country of England, Sam wasn't the kid chasing footballs on the pitch. He was the one in the shed, oil on his hands, teaching himself how to strip a 50cc moped down to its last bolt and rebuild it so clean it purred. His curiosity wasn't just a phase, it was a lifelong obsession. That obsession carried him to Oxford Brookes University, where he graduated with honors in mechanical engineering. Sam blended textbook knowledge with shed-forged intuition. It wasn't long before that combination caught the attention of serious names in the automotive world. At Gemini Accident Repair, he mastered chassis repair and gearbox alignment. Then came Honda Performance Development, where he worked on high-performance beasts like the NSX GT3 and Corvette C7R Le Mans cars. He also consulted for Aston Martin, Jaguar, and Lotus, earning quiet respect in elite engineering circles. But even as his weekdays were filled with C8D models and high-end racing specs, his weekends were spent hunched over weathered Triumphs, salvaging vintage motorcycles others had written off. It was this dual life, precision by day, passion by night, that defined him. And it was this unique combination that caught the eye of Henry Cole. Henry, a quirky and rebellious TV presenter with a deep love for motorcycles, met Sam while looking for engineering advice. What he got was more than expertise. He found someone who could explain complex mechanics in plain English and do it with charm. The camera didn't just like Sam, it loved him. That spark gave birth to the Motorbike Show, where Sam became more than an engineer. He became a teacher. Viewers watched in awe as he and Henry restored legends like the Yellow Peril, a brutal 1960 Norton Commando, and brought a WLC Harley roaring back to life. But the real magic? Sam didn't just fix bikes, he taught you why and how. Calm, clear, and clever, he turned every restoration into a masterclass. Then came Shed and Buried. This wasn't just a show, it was an adventure. Together, Sam and Henry toured forgotten barns across the UK, unearthing mechanical relics, WW detractors, rusted-out cafe racers, vintage cars held together by time and hope. Henry played the deal maker, spontaneous, impulsive, always ready to buy. Sam was the fixer, analytical, cool under pressure, and brutally honest when a so-called treasure was actually junk. In one unforgettable episode in Leicester, the pair faced off with a seller over a rare 1960 to Greaves Sportsman. The price was sky-high. Sam immediately spotted mismatched welds and hidden flaws. He refused to overpay. The haggling turned into must-watch television, and fans loved it. Sam wasn't being stingy, he was protecting the integrity of the vintage world. In another standout, deep in Cornwall, they uncovered a corroded Ferguson TE-0 tractor. Sam took it apart piece by piece, rebuilt it, and turned it into a gentle giant that sold for a handsome price at auction. Later, in Northern Ireland, they unearthed a barn full of military gear, including a battle-scarred Land Rover. Sam traced its serial numbers, proved its wartime pedigree, and restored it with delicate care. When the former owner accused them of underhanded dealing, Henry went to the press. Sam stayed silent. He let his flawless welds and restored panels speak louder than any headline ever could. The chemistry between Henry and Sam kept viewers hooked. Their banter, their occasional friction, and their deep mutual respect made every episode of Shed and Buried more than entertainment. It felt like watching the old friends living out every gearhead's dream. That energy carried into their next hit. Find it, fix it, drive it. This time, the challenges got harder. They had just days to find forgotten vehicles, restore them, and take them for wild test drives, whether that meant racing a vintage two-stroke round Brooklands or reviving a 70s tractor for a championship plow-off. And then, just like that, it stopped. Midway through season 4 of Shed and Buried, Sam Lovegrove vanished. No farewell, no final episode, just a slide in the credits. Fans noticed immediately. Comment sections filled with speculation. Was it burnout? A contract dispute? Something more serious? In March 2022, Henry Cole released a shaky phone video The explanation: Sam had caught a vicious bug. He needed rest, no timeline, no specifics, and no further updates. The silence spoke volumes. Without Sam, later episodes felt off, like a machine missing its counterweight, still moving, but with a new, uneasy vibration. But Sam hadn't disappeared. He'd just gone home, back to Cornwall, back to his family, back to the workshop where it all began. There, in a converted dairy barn filled with vintage parts and glowing TIG welders, Sam returned to what mattered most, the work, and not just any work. The legendary Brow Superior, once dubbed the Rolls-Royce of motorcycles, had tapped Sam Lovegrove to lead their modern engineering revival. He traded TV lights for billet aluminum and UV-cured epoxy, disappearing into a project that demanded every ounce of the genius. That started in his childhood shed. In August 2023, Sam Lovegrove's work spoke louder than ever before. At El Mirage Dry Lake, a sleek 700cc machine named Baby Pendine ripped across the salt flats and shattered to Film World Records and to AMA Records. Writers Alan Cathcart and Henry Cole took turns taming the beast, but every headline pointed back to one thing: the invisible genius who built the heart of the bike. That genius was Sam Lovegrove, but the Baby Pendine was just the beginning. Even more awe-inspiring was the rebirth of the Brow Superior SS100, personally tuned by Sam. This legendary machine howled into the desert twilight with such force. Bystanders describe its exhaust note as artillery fire. There were no TV crews, no script, no stage drama, just the raw, unfiltered presence of a craftsman doing what he was born to do: push metal motors and limits to their purest form. Back home in Cornwall, Sam's life couldn't be more different from the noise of the flats. Nestled in the countryside, he spends his days between school runs, surf lessons with his kids, and hearty Sunday roasts. Visitors find him happiest elbow deep in a 1933 Vincent, or patiently teaching a child the finer points of engine longevity, like why bronze valve guides beat out iron every time. His world hasn't disappeared, it's just grown quieter, more intentional, focused on family, purpose, and the art of perfect restoration. Yet the winds of change are blowing. A new documentary pilot centered on the next Brow Superior land speed run features Sam as chief consultant. Insiders whisper of a possible educational series where Sam returns not for fame, but to teach. No drama, no shortcuts, just precision, knowledge, and heart. Whether or not he returns to TV, one thing is clear: Sam Lovegrove's legacy is still revving strong. Did Sam Lovegrove truly disappear, or just step back to rebuild on his own terms? Like any great mechanic, he knew when to shut down before burning out. Whether he returns to the spotlight or stays in Cornwall crafting quietly, one thing's certain: his story isn't over, not even close. Thanks for watching.